Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 54. Unbelievable. All by commitment and consistency, straight up. We have a special guest on today. I couldn't be more excited. We're just waiting for my partner in crime, the articulate alligator, the quantum quail, the sex icon, the sex swordfish, the sex panther, the sex everything, really. I see you, Big Dave, and we're going to bring him on right now. And that's just that. And I have a feeling that he's going to be looking really, really handsome, sexy, and fly today. I just have that intuition. But it is what it is, you know? I don't really believe in competition. I know he's going to outshine me in regards to that. It is what it is. So let's do this. Big Dave, you sex giraffe. You sex owl. Yeah. What are you smiling at, you giddy goose?
I'm smiling at that unbuttoned shirt of yours. You can't help yourself.
I can't win with you. You know, next time, tuxedo.
Say again?
Next time I'm going to show up with a tuxedo.
Yeah, that'll work. What's going on?
Everything is great. I'm feeling extra good today. Just got back from a nice run. I had my cut-off shirt on, but I didn't want you to make fun of me, so I threw on this shirt, and you make fun of me anyway. So it is what it is. We have a special guest coming on today, and not too many people know this, but I couldn't be more excited because I'm going to be seeing someone really special tomorrow in person.
Yes, you are. My daughter, Marissa, for her 23rd birthday.
Hell yeah. Where are you right now?
I'm in Dallas. I'm speaking this morning at the Quest 7 event here in Dallas on my way to New York City tonight.
That's honestly the best news ever. Paul, I see you on here, brother. We're going to bring you on in less than 5 minutes. We're going to start it off and hit the ground running. You ready for me, Big Dave?
Oh, I'm more than ready.
Okay. I saw you talk about this week on your content, and it was really interesting to me. So selfishly, I wanted to ask you, and I know the audience is going to love it too. There's a big difference between doing what you love and loving what you do.
Yeah, you know, this was an epiphany years ago because there's light, love, and lessons in everything. And if we only do what we love, then we're only doing what initially resonates with us. And it's about 10% of the 90% that is available to us in the spectrum of vibration or frequency. You see that things are at your frequency, you're going to love automatically. So the analogy that I use is, you ever been to one of those county fairs where they have a long aisle of all the food, you know, all the bad food, the good food, you know, the turkey drumstick and the chocolate fried Snicker bars and whatever else they have. And it's interesting because if you've ever walked down that aisle and with a group of people, there's always, as you pass each one, a couple people in the group that go, oh my gosh, I love those turkey sticks, you know, and you're like, have you ever tried it? No, but it looks so good. And then two of the people in the group are like, oh my God, I just threw up in my mouth. That looks disgusting. See, that's the problem with loving what you do, is that if you don't have and put the effort into finding the light, the love, and the lessons and trying the turkey stick and saying, this is something that I love, or this is an acquired taste, I'm going to keep on eating it until I love it. And the only distinguishment is time. Is it worth your time to find the light, the love, and the lessons in the activity you get paid for, the activity you don't get paid for? Is it worth your time? And the way we distinguish whether it's worth your time or not is through a chain of feeding, right? Like, how much does this feed me? Therefore, I'm going to give it the time to feed it. Or if it bleeds me, I'm not going to give it any time, because there's so many more things that fall within the resonation of that energy, of that frequency. So I want everyone to create a pragmatic methodology of learning to love what you do, but make sure that it's worth your time. And if it is, you can learn to love anything. And if you don't believe me, read Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He will tell you how to find love, light, and lessons in a bowl of fish head soup and dirty water.
You are such a wise walrus. It's unbelievable.
I love that. That may be my favorite one. Better than the sex cheetah.
Yeah, they keep on coming. And I just want to say, I agree with everything that you said. And also, like, something that I posted a week or two ago, it's like, no matter where you are in life, give 110%. Even if you're at currently a crappy job, like, show up and be the superstar at that crappy job, because that's how you create opportunities for yourself. And I know it's not apples to apples with what you were saying, but it just reminded me of that, and I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of 110% just because I'm a true math person and the potential that exists is 100%. So what I like to tell people is lean in, be a professional, do the best you can do. Even when people want to create a side hustle, I'm always telling them the best way to create a side hustle is to get better at what you do because you'll get paid more and you'll have more time. More money and more time equals the availability of doing a side hustle. Otherwise, all you'll do is dissipate and dissolve the opportunities, not only the opportunity of having a side hustle, but the opportunity of what you're doing today, which then dissipates and diminishes your capacity if you don't lean into what you're doing today and be a professional.
Yeah, you're fired up today, and I love every second of it. So there's that. We're going to bring on our guest right now. I'm going to ask you one last question. And this one, I say very humbly, and I kind of want the audience to hear it from your perspective as opposed to mine. Because a lot of clients and a lot of people in my community, and again, I just want to be clear, I'm saying very humbly, like they want to be me or do what I'm doing. And I tell them exactly what to do, exactly what I did. So Dave, maybe you can tell people, like, what is the difference between me and the people that want to be me, that really aren't giving it everything they got and really aren't staying committed to the process?
Yeah, it's consistency, right? And it's an open mind. You came in with some needs of the ego and some misperceptions of what it takes to build a community. And you were open-minded and humbled when, I gave you my advice. You came to somebody that sits in a situation you want to be in, and you asked me for directions. When I gave you directions, there was no resistance to those directions. There was how high can I jump? And I would say there, and that's why, and how I pick people off of the wait list to work with, because I can't do anything for someone that just, gives me rhetoric and isn't willing to do, say, think, believe, and feel what I'm teaching. And you consistently execute on what we teach, and very few people do that. They give it, here's the example, we talked about this before, then we'll let Paul come on, right? A lot of people, when you're coaching them, they go the extra mile every once in a while, right? They may review the notes and then 2 weeks later come back to you, and extra mile every once in a while is an extremely competitive and crowded mile. It's guys like Craig Siegel that go the extra mile every day, and they live in the empty mile, and they understand how this flow works and how easy and effortless it can be if you go the extra mile every day, which is why you look the way you look.
And for the audience listening, like what's the message we want to hammer home there is, if I can do it, so can you. Just listen to what Dave's saying and go that extra mile. I love you, and we're going to bring on Paul. We got a lot of people in here right now. This is great. I couldn't be more excited for Paul because he's a nerd, a self-proclaimed nerd, and so am I. And so are you, Dave, you geek.
I'm a geek. I'm the geek of the week.
There he is, Paul.
What's going on? Man, two rock stars. How did I end up on this live?
Because you're so good looking.
Well, besides that, that's obvious.
It's funny, Paul, because I was talking about this morning because we're fans. First of all, thank you for stopping by and joining us. And
man, I'm honored. Honestly, you guys are both doing amazing things. Dave, I think I met you a couple of years ago at a conference, and I walked away. I was like, did I just meet the Dave? I was in shock.
Oh, it was great to meet you as well. And I was so excited to see your name on the list this week when I'm a marketing geek. And so I study everything, and I study you, I study what you do, and just really excited for you to share, these pragmatic techniques in order to effectuate building a community.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Alessia, my girlfriend. We had a little bit with if you were going to show up with a bow tie, and she nailed it. So there's
Of course, this is what I sleep in. I just got out of bed.
That's his brand. How could he not show up in a bow tie?
You're right. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm excited to rock and roll. You ready for me, Paul?
I'm ready. Let's go.
One of the things that you talk about, which I think is really special, and it'll be good to have on for the audience today, is this: it's you against you. Dive in.
Against you. Yeah. So a lot of times people fall into this dangerous condition of comparing themselves to the guy down the road, the person sitting beside them, that individual that popped up on their feed. Chances are you don't know the story behind where they are if they're really there or not, because what we see on social media is probably a person's highlight reel. So really the best comparison is comparing yourself against yourself. Where were you yesterday? Where were you last month, last year? And always improving on that. There's a dangerous condition of comparing yourself to somebody else because we really don't know each other.
Yeah, beautifully. What are you smiling at?
One of the reasons I love this show, and we call it the paradigm shift, is that people articulate things in different manners and different frequencies so that more people can learn them. And so, whether it was in Sanskrit where people talked about, others are a mirror of yourself, or speaking of comparison is the thief of joy, like one of Paul's clients, Les Brown, right? That's one of his favorite articulations of quantitative value of comparison is a thief of joy. Regardless, one of the aspects that I think about in the marketing realm is that you give meaning to everything you see. And this is so important today because of what I call the Shakespearean revival of understanding if you know your frequency, whether it's Ty Lopez, who Paul works with, or Les Brown, who he works with, or, just amazing brands that he's been able to build. It's a matter of knowing their own frequency and then living within the context of killing off your limitations, of understanding the exponentiality of how marketing brands grow, as we've talked about in the exponentiality of it takes time. But even if it takes time, it speeds up the time when you know your frequency. In other words, you give meaning to everything you see. You have to be you. Too many people out there are trying to market to everyone, and they're trying to be everything to everyone. And then they end up wondering why they're nowhere. Be somewhere, be yourself, and you will end up where you want to be or even better.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Dave is like the Yoda of online marketing. I mean, it's just like what he said. I feel like I need to take notes of every breath he makes because that's absolutely right. It's when you look at people and understand that there is a danger of trying to be everything to everybody because nobody is. There's going to be people that dislike you. There's people that actually dislike me because of my bow tie. Like they say, I can never really work. I couldn't take that guy serious. He wears a bow tie. He looks like that. He's, act like a kid. But then there's other people that really connect with me. Early on, I fell into that trap of trying to please everybody. And what you find out is you're not pleasing yourself. You're running this direction to make this person. It's like a chameleon. You're trying to be like this person to be like this person. Well, I'm just me now, just me, and you can like me, dislike me, love me, whatever. But you find the people that you attract. It's so more rewarding because you don't have to put on this pseudo facade of like, oh yeah, I'm this tough guy, I'm this, and then change over and try to put on the persona to please this. It's just me. If we connect, amazing. If we don't connect, well, that's fine.
I got to add to that, Paul, because one advantage of being older and having to market in the traditional sense where you already knew your audience. So if I was marketing Troy Aikman, Steve Young, or Warren Moon, I knew the basic demographic or avatar of that audience and how to market to that audience. But today, the inverse is true, and why it's even more important to find your own frequency and to be authentic. Because, even you take the most popular people on the internet, 100 million quote unquote followers, whatever that means.
Yeah.
That is a pimple on your ass. Right? compared to the amount of people that hate those people, right?
Yeah,
compared to the amount of people that don't know those people or don't care about those people. Yeah. And so, I found some young egotistical kids that'll tell me, oh, I have 9 million followers. I'm like, terrific. I'd rather have 2 ambassadors than 9 million followers. And they're looking at me like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'd rather have 2 people a year tell everyone to read my books, watch my podcast, hire me to speak, hire me to coach, do something, just 2 people a year telling 2 people, because in 20 years, you'll probably have 0 followers. And in 20 years, I'll have 2 million ambassadors telling 2 million new ambassadors about TV shows, movies, podcasts, books, stages, and coaching all in one. This is where people lose the inverse understanding of marketing today that we used to directly target. You can't do that anymore. You have to actually attract.
This is so true. It's so good to touch on that also, like the power of authenticity. Dave, one of the things that you told me in the beginning of our relationship, like everybody always asks me, like the CLS community, I've never seen it so engaged and loyal. And for me, it's quality over quantity, right? Like there's so many people with such fluff out there and so forth, but to be able to form that connection, and also to go back to what Paul said, like the weirder and stranger I am, the more Craig I am, the more.
I like that about you, man. I like that.
Just take off your shirt.
Videos, I'm like, oh man, I like this guy. He's weird. You know,
I'm the weirdest, and relationships is everything. And the weirder I am, the bigger connection I make, Paul. And talking about relationships, one thing that you love, and I know Dave is going to get a kick out of this one too, is people over profits, relationship over revenue.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, there's. You can't put a price tag on principles. You can't put a price tag on your integrity. You can't put a price tag on relationships. Those are invaluable commodities. If you sacrifice that for profits, you're going to lose everything. You know, I've met individuals that have acquired huge amounts of wealth, millionaires, billionaires, bazillionaires, all that. But if they don't have those core values, they're not true to who they are, their principles, then they're unhappy. So what does it matter if you have all the money in the world, but you're unhappy? So yeah, principles, values, put those always before profits, relationships over revenue. And I remember when COVID first hit, I had clients and coaching students reaching out to me and they're like, Paul, what do we do? Do we stop selling? You know, because there's like this awkward feeling of like COVID's happening. Do we stop selling now? And I told them, I said, are you really helping people? Are you really serving people? If you are, continue selling. But if you're not, please stop. Matter of fact, you should have stopped doing that a long time ago. So if you're sincerely helping people, your products, your service, what you offer is serving, helping people, that should be the focal point of everything that we do.
Yeah, that is so important. I'll tell you, even in my own journey, when I started building my brand, I have a member of my team that was so against selling, right? Mm-hmm. He said, Dave, you don't need money. Just teach people, right? And I said, okay, like, and I built a crowd, and then I sat down with Ed Milet and Dean Graziosi, and both of those guys sell off the stage. Dean especially, right? Tony and Dean are probably the kings of selling off the stage. And he had me all amped up on like, you're never going to sell off a stage. And I said to Dean, I said, you know, how do you do that, man? Don't you feel like you don't need the money? Or don't you feel like you're taking advantage of people? 25 grand to sell your real estate program? And he said, Dave, he said, have you ever bought anything off the stage? I said, yeah, from Tony Robbins, your boy. He goes, and how'd that work out for you? I said, changed my life. I used to carry 12 Tony Robbins cassette tapes in my car. And as I'm selling, I'm listening to those all day long, right? And that shows you how old I am. People are like, what's a cassette tape? Go look it up. Google.
I know what a cassette tape is.
Yeah. So
I know what 8-tracks are.
Yeah, and look, in my hero, Wayne Dyer, right? I'm known as the Wayne Dyer of sports. Wayne Dyer, I probably own every CD. You know, I got a little bit more advanced. Every CD and DVD of Wayne Dyer. And he said, how'd that work out for you? I said, changed my life. He said, you have the ability to change people's lives, not just make them money, but allow them to help other people and be happy, as you suggest, regardless of the money. You have that capability. Your mission is to empower others. How can you not add the value to it of selling it wherever you go on this paradigm shift on a stage? And that's what really shifted my receiving concept, that I'm not helping anybody if I'm not receiving, because I'm willing to give everything away, but I can only give what I have. So I want to reiterate, Paul, that's amazing. I want everybody to feel comfortable asking and selling at all times.
Yeah. And let me, I come from a Christian biblical background. There's a great scripture in Proverbs. It says this: he that hath wheat and withholds it shall be cursed, but he that sells it will be blessed. Now notice that scripture, it says this, it says, he that withholds it is going to be cursed, but he that sells it will be blessed. It doesn't say he that gives it away, he that just you know, but it says he that sells it, because when people buy something, they value it. But secondly, when people buy something from you, it gives you the ability to scale it. It gives you the ability to buy more tractors, buy more farmers, to help more people. So when you understand selling actually benefits the buyer, and of course it benefits the seller, but it empowers us and it equips us with the ability that we can help more people. Somebody say amen.
I'm laughing because this is awesome. Ready for to speak? Do you have time for one more question?
I do.
Okay, Paulie. Another thing that you say that I think is really special and awesome is you're never too young to start an empire, and you're never too old to chase a dream. Specifically, the latter part. I think a lot of people should and need to hear that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you look at individuals like Colonel Sanders. He did not start. I was over in Dubai. Dave, I think you were recently in Dubai also.
I certainly was.
I remember coming out of the airport, and there's all these signs, Colonel Sanders, KFC, and everything. I'm like, wow, Kentucky Fried Chicken is popular in Dubai. And but he did not found that franchise until he's in his late 60s. And so that, to me, that is very encouraging. So yeah, I mean, it's never too late to invest in your dream, to invest in your future, to start to pick up that dream. So many people, they give up too early. One of the things that I learned early on is that consistency, like Dave mentioned, consistent and just being faithful and being steadfast. There's a lot of these, I call them Alka-Seltzer sellers. You drop them into water, they fizzle a little bit, and then they're gone. You know what I mean? And they leave a bad taste in your mouth. So, but building a brand, building, you know, relationships, more than just followers and everything like that, it allows you to establish a legacy, something that goes on after you're gone. It allows you to establish loyalty. People are loyal to brands. You know what I mean? They're loyal to those. So I think it's important that we invest in ourselves. We understand that it is about serving people, and it's never too late. As long as you still have a heartbeat. And actually, Lazarus found out you can be dead a few days and there's still hope for you.
Right. You know, just to end that, here's what dreaming does, right? It's a mathematical advantage in life, regardless of how old you are, how young you are. We should be encouraging people to dream, especially what's going on with technology, because one of the things with technology is it's the first time ever that children are being outdone by technology, their dreams. They can't dream bigger than technology can provide. They have to dream up to the technology of where it's at. What I suggest is no matter what age you are, 5 years old or 500 years old, whatever you believe, once you dream, once you imagine what you want, the speed of thought is much more, it's much faster than the speed of light. So once you think about it, there's a mathematical advantage that occurs in this pragmatic world. You go from nothing, no thing. The minute you imagine something, you go from nothing to something, right? When you imagine, you get a mathematical advantage. And then, speaking to what Paul does, when you become inspired in spirit to that something, right? You create a calling, you ask, you wish, you sell, whatever it may be. Your own possibility, you go from nothing to a possibility, now becomes a probability. See, when you're inspired, your possibility of a dream becomes a probability. Now, what I like to teach people is how do you make that probability your perspective, your reality? Well, it takes three things. We keep saying the word consistency. It takes discipline, it takes strategy, and most of all, awareness, right? The light is unraveled. The biggest misuse of time is between problems and solutions. And people misuse that time in the interval between cause and effect, cause and outcome, by putting their attention and intention on the outcomes that already exist within the context of the cause. So what I teach people to do is take, number one, the dreams that you want to create a possibility, the inspiration that you have to make it a probability, and then the pragmatic techniques that Paul teaches in marketing, I teach as well, to create a discipline, a strategy, and an awareness to make it your perspective, which is your reality. Just tying it all back to the beginning, right? Because you give meaning to everything you see. Therefore, if it's your perspective, it's reality. Thank you, boys. Appreciate you so much.
You're awesome, Dave.
This was awesome, Dave. I know you have a speaking thing right now, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do that thing you do. I love you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.
Paul, we got to get together, brother. I'm so
Absolutely,
proud of you.
man.
Keep the great work.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, bro. God bless, man.
One bonus question.
Sure.
Why do you pray?
Because, man, prayer, when you understand that prayer connects you to the creator of the universe, there's a scripture in Daniel that says we can pray for understanding and knowledge. That word understanding and knowledge means gifts and talents. I was talking to a friend of mine before church. I texted him that scripture. You can pray for gifts and talents. And this is a guy that blows my mind when it comes to marketing, personal brand. It's just, he is a rock star. And he was formerly a pro athlete, was injured. He said, when I got injured, I had to find a backup plan. And I just began to pray, ask God to give me direction, pray, pray, pray. He said, I started learning things. Things were revealed to me. I saw things. I understood things in a way. He said, I would talk to my friends and they would look at me and they're like, I know you're not that smart. Where are you learning this from? He's like, I'm getting it from God. And when you say things like that, people think you're crazy. But to sum it up, prayer gives me divine connection to the creator of the universe. If you could sit down and talk with Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all of these amazing millionaires, billionaires, I would venture to say that everybody would take that offer up. When you understand prayer is connecting you to the creator of Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, the creator of the universe, you're getting access to his wisdom, his knowledge. That's why I pray. It's a relationship with our creator.
That was an awesome answer. And I never heard that perspective before, but it's so true because we're all connected, right? So we're now tapping into the same light or creator or universe, whatever you believe in, that all these legends and icons do. And that keeps us all on a similar frequency if you look at it from that vantage point. That was awesome. Thanks
a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
This was too much fun. I have a good intuition that it's just the beginning of the friendship. I'd love to do more with you. Real quick before here, who's your favorite superhero?
Iron Man. Iron Man. Yeah. Love Iron Man. I like Iron Man because it kind of seems very possible. Like, get enough money, build a suit, it's possible. Superman, I understand the fiction of that. Iron Man, I think there just might be a possibility.
Because you love Iron Man is exactly why I love Batman, because it looks like it's attainable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Paulie, thank you so much for joining us. For the audience, go check out Paul's content. Go see what he's got going on. He's awesome. And like I said, just the beginning of the friendship. Thank you so much. And I look forward to building a relationship.
Thanks a lot, bro. God bless you. Have a great day, man.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
What an unbelievable episode, guys. The Paradigm Shift, episode 54 in the books. Thank you all for joining us. Tremendous conversation. Love Paul, the iconic articulate alligator, as always. Unbelievable stuff. Aleska in the house, no big deal. Hope you're having a great workout. Cyprian, always good to see you, brother. Stacy, love you so much. The Quantum Queen. It appears that everybody's out today. Monica, Junior, yes. Alexandra, aka Cookie Girl. Jesse, it's great to see you. Ann McGowan, hell yes. The Coffee Queen. And that's really it, guys. Oh, Mikey's in the house too. Everybody's out today, really. How you guys like my hairpiece real quick? You guys like it? I did something a little bit different. So there's that. Hope you guys have an unbelievable weekend. It's good to see everybody out. AW in the house, no big deal. We just wanted to drop some gems, get a little crazy, and just have some fun, guys. And that last question that I asked Paul was pretty special about praying and so forth. And if you think about it from that perspective, like, we're all connected. The legends, the greats, the icons, everybody. Marcus, what's up, brother? And how cool is that, right? We're all connected. That's pretty special stuff. So if somebody could do something, so can you. You just got to tap into that. You dig? I love you guys so much that it's probably concerning. Yes, Monica. So guys, have an unbelievable Saturday. Kick some butt, sharpen the axe, set yourself up, take a load off, whatever it is that you got to do to fill your cup and move the needle. So that's it for today. Have an unbelievable Saturday, guys. Love you.